Yo, what's good everybody? So you're in again. Welcome back to some more diecast stuff. Today we're going to be making a rusty barn find custom out of this cool 62 Nissan Junior from Matchbox. And I got something a little different in mind. I'm actually going to make a small little diorama using one of those M2 machines base things. So let's get this car out of the package, get it screwed apart, because that's the first part of every custom. Alright, with the car apart, we can move on to the next step. As you notice, I did modify some parts of this base, or actually one part. I just cut off the front. You can see this front grille here. I want to do something different with it, like make it offset on the car. So I had to cut it off in the base in order to do that. And there's the window. It looks like it's got like an egg crate thing in the windshield. It's pretty cool. But okay, the next thing I'm going to do is actually work on the wheels for a second here, because as you can see, this truck here, it's going to be sitting in a field for a pretty long time, and I want to give it a flat, I want it to be missing a tire, and I want the tire to be sitting on like a wood block. So what we're going to do is take one of the wheels here, we're going to just shave off, like trim off everything. You can see that mid-hub there, that interior area, we're just going to leave that behind to make it look like, you know, just the brake rotor and stuff like that were left. So basically I'm going to do that to the wheels so far, and then the truck will be set aside for the base, which I'll show you guys a little bit later. Alright, so that's basically what I wanted the wheel to look like right there. As you can see, it's just like a little wheel rotor. It still actually rolls, but you know, I just want this truck to look weathered, so I figured, I see old cars like that all the time where they have like a wheel just up on some blocks of wood or something to prop it up. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I think it turned out pretty good. So we're going to be rolling with that for one of the wheels, and we'll get to the other parts of this later. But for now, let's move on to our base. Alright, what we're going to be using for the base is not this M2 machines thing here. This can go in the trash, I don't need it. But we got this M2 machines, 1969 Datsun Bluebird 1600 SSS from M2. So basically all I'm going to do with this is unscrew the car from the base, because we don't need the car for this. All I want is the plastic case. So let's do that. Alright, now we got that base and the case apart from each other. We got this little case here. I plan on using that, and we got the Datsun Bluebird 1600 SSS here. Here's a look at the car that came out of here. Oh my gosh, what? Exhaust pipe just fell off. You see, this is why I don't buy M2. Just pick up the car to look at it, and the exhaust pipe falls off. Just their quality control is awful. But here's a look at the car that came out of here, the Datsun Bluebird 1600 SSS. It does have an opening hood. I better not shake it, or more parts will probably fall off of it. But here we go, Goodyear Racing. It's not a bad car, you know, but M2 needs to step up their game here. They're charging way too much for these cars, and how poor quality they are. I mean, it's not saying it's a bad car. It's a pretty cool car, but you know, when you pick it up to look at it and the exhaust muffler just falls off of the car, that's when you know you need to ramp up your quality control and get stuff going. But yeah, it's got an opening hood and everything. This exhaust muffler, I'm not going to put it back on the M2. I'm going to use it for my diorama. It can just be a piece of junk lying on the ground or something. So let's set this car aside. He'll just be going off in a storage bin somewhere. But here is the part I needed, which is the base. So I got rid of those little posts that were holding the screws in. I got rid of the screws too, because we're not going to need those. Basically what I'm going to do is take, you know, the truck like so, and you just make this like a little display for the truck. I'm going to put it at a little angle, and then like cover this in grass and stuff like that. So basically what I'm going to do first is take this foam stuff, and I'm going to place it over this diamond pattern, and then I'm going to paint this brown as well to give it like a base brown coat. And then I'm just going to use some grass and stuff like this moss, forest moss. I'm going to grind this up or something to use as vines or ground texture. And yeah, and then I'm going to put the truck in, blend it all in with the scenery. Maybe put some like scrap parts in there like that, or some other stuff. Or some wheels in the back of the truck. But yeah, that's basically it. So next step I need to do is cut out a piece of foam for the base, and also I'm going to spray paint the actual base of the truck in rust brown, just a rust base coat, you know, same with the front end taillights. So let's get to doing that. Alright, at this point we got the base back from its first round of paint. As you can see, it is like a satin brown almost. This is just a rust base coat, as well as the front bumper here. So those are gonna be set aside for now, because we're gonna do the fun part, work on the base, on the body of the car, give it all rusty look. So we're gonna sand this down, maybe Dremel a bit, rough it up a bit, you know, and then we're gonna try Guitard & Broke's Paprika rusting technique. So by the time I cut the scene, the whole car will be rusted and everything will be done. Alright, we got our base back from the brown base coat. So I just put a bunch of foam on here, you know, I arranged some plants or whatever I'm going to have from that foam block. I know it's a little bit back there, but I got the basic there, and then I spray painted it with the brown, so it looks like dirt, you know. So that's our base here, and then we have our truck, which is drying right now, but I'll put that back together and test fit it back together just to show you guys what it looks like so far. But there's a little preview of the rust effects with Guitard & Broke's Paprika. I did use it, but I did modify the way it was used, I guess. I don't know if I didn't really like the way it turned out originally, so I changed it a little bit and modified it to my taste. But it's still there, but I just changed it so now the rust looks actually like more realistic. It looks more chunky, it looks more like grainy, like real rust would, but I just changed it a little bit. So there's the truck for now. Let's actually start doing this here. We're going to put some forest moss down on the base, make like a little cool little diorama for the truck. Alright, so the next step is putting this thing sort of back together, just doing a little bit of detailing to the truck here. So basically the truck is complete as far as I'm concerned. The rust is as good as I want it. It might not look perfect, but I did use little Guitard & Broke's little Paprika thing on mainly the roof here. It looks really great. It looks like really, really heavy rust if you coat it over with brown. I just think it looked a little too red for what I was going for on mine, so I decided to scale it down a bit and paint over it with the brown. But anyway, here's what it looks like over here. It really looks nice and clumpy. That's what I was looking for there. So it looks like the rust is like formed up and corroded away at the body of the car. So yeah, that's basically all I'm going to do for that. Set that aside. Also, I'm going to set aside this little bumper piece. Actually, I'm going to do a little more on that. That's basically done as far as I'm concerned. It's supposed to just look all rusty. I might actually go over it with like the Paprika again, maybe, just to make it look all clumpy, rusty. But this is fine. No one's going to see this really, except for the rear, which I did a little bit of silver, like the chrome has been rusting off. But here we have the interior, which I tried a new thing here, where you can see, like, you know how leaves kind of accumulate on like abandoned cars after a while. So what I did is I went for the Paprika, and eventually I just found out that this stuff here, this is Italian seasoning. It looks almost like leaves. So I decided to just put a layer of glue down on the seat and sprinkled some leaves over it, or Italian seasoning. And it looks like leaves I've accumulated in the seat. And I also put an oil wash over it, so yeah, there's some grime on the seat. So that interior is done, and then I'm going to do the truck bed. Then we get the wheels. They're basically the same as they were before. And the base, I have accelerated a bunch on. I put this little fence in here. It's just a piece of a toy army set fence or something. I spray painted brown. Then I got this little chunky thing down here. That's another piece of the fence from the army thing. That's supposed to be like the cinder block that the car's broken wheel will rest on. And you can see I just added some bushes using the moss and some other stuff, just smattered around. And then I put glue over the whole thing and put some leaves over the top. There's just little things. I'm going to put more details in it later. Like you can see there's that muffler from that M2 car that fell off the M2 car. I just threw it on there. And yeah, there's some other stuff. So basically what I'm going to do is, have the truck, you know, just sitting in here like so. And it's going to be like a little rusty diorama or something like that. Where's the case for this thing? I don't know, I lose things all the time. Where's the clear cover for... I don't know, I'll find it later, but I'm putting that clear M2, oh, it's right here, this thing. And you can just put it over the top, you know, and just have like a little diorama in here. But it's not done yet. Next step I'm going to do is, basically the truck is done at this point. We're going to work on the wheels mostly, getting them flat tires and stuff like that, using the lighter method thingy, and then breaking the windshield and stuff like that, making that look weathered. And then we're going to finish it up with just some leaves and other stuff, probably leaves around the windshield area, like by the top of the hood here. That's where some leaves are going to accumulate. And also in the bed of the truck, I'm going to add some tires, some old spare parts, and whatnot, you know, just to give it a little abandoned look. But yeah, there's the fence. I put that in there as a little touch. I might put some more junk on the ground, just like spare parts in my bin. In fact, I'm already seeing, yeah, just like random stuff. I don't care, like whatever this is. It could look like a piece of metal. Or I could get some junk from old cars I've scrapped over the time. There's an exhaust pipe, just whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna do that and I'll report back when I'm pretty much done. Alright, so a lot is going on with this truck right now. I've been doing a lot of different work on it, bringing a lot of stuff together, I guess, but just doing minor things while I'm waiting for it to dry. Right now, this is in a heavy oil wash on the rear to try to give it a weathered look, so that's drying right now. This front plate, I drilled out 3 of the 4 headlights to make it, you know, seem like they were stolen or smashed or something like that. Not much has been done on the base of the wheels, but I did bring in some spare parts from other cars, like this is from a BMW from the Forza series. I'll be planning on putting that in there. And then we got a stack of tires that I made before for a garage or something, for a junkyard. And I'm going to cut this up and put some of the tires in the back of the truck as just, you know, like they were forgotten there or something. But here's the main thing I wanted to show you is this sort of like leaf weathering thing, where, you know, how old cars or old stuff just sitting around in like a field for a while, you know, it's going to get all leafy. Like old dusty leaves are going to collect on it. And yeah, so basically that's what I did. I had used a combination of this Italian seasoning, what is this stuff? White pepper, and this green stuff for fine leaves, ground savory. So basically I just put down the Italian seasoning first. It's just like the bigger, chunkier leaves. I did that using the glue, just dab the glue onto where you want it. I think you can still see some of it drying there. And then just sprinkle that over it, dry off the excess, and then do the same with this ground savory. And you can even just go like this with it. You can just dip your finger in it and sort of just like tap, tap, tap around, and it'll give it, you know, some leaves. It'll even stick to the tackiness of the paint. But yeah, so that's basically all you do for that. It's not that hard, to be honest. I think it was turned out pretty easy, and it looks pretty good to me. So we got the truck with the dead leaves on the top. That's how you do that. Looks pretty good in my opinion. It's going to look great with the rest of this diorama. So what's left for me to do is finish that up, and then I got to get the bed ready. And I'm going to also try something else. You see how the underside of this truck, on the underside of the roof there, oops, no, I suck at this. Okay, whatever. But you see the underside of the roof, that is going to be changed a bit. I'm going to try doing a little bit of aluminum foil on the bottom of that, because you know how old cars, they have that, like, that not plastic, that vinyl cover stuff on the roof, and eventually over the years it'll get shredded or, you know, weather away. So I'm going to try to do that with the aluminum foil. Alright, at this point the truck is done, I think. I'm actually done with this. So I think I don't even remember the last time I made the video. I think the last time I made the video was explaining how I did this little leaf technique, I guess, on the truck. But now I just decided to go ahead and just finish it. Sometimes I get impatient and I'm just like, whatever, I don't really want to stop to make a video, and I just push through and make the rest of this truck. So I didn't do much to it. This just need a little bit of finishing touches, like the stuff on the back or little signs and stuff on the sides here. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what's going on. The truck is removable from the stand. But here's the little base itself. I just cut this thing off, this little 62 Nissan Junior off of the Matchbox card, instead of it saying, you know, Datsun Bluebird or whatever, because this is not a Datsun Bluebird. But other little touches I made was put this little private property sign on the fence. This little stone block here, that's like a cinder block for the broken wheel to rest on. I kind of made like a little dirt path through the grass or whatever this is. One thing I'm gonna note is this moss. I didn't really like the way it turned out, to be honest. I don't know. It looks too like overgrown. It looks too thick in my opinion. I think I'm gonna definitely try something else next diorama I make. This is just the first try, so I didn't really know what I was doing with the scenery or whatever. But it doesn't look bad. But I'm definitely gonna try to use something else than this moss for the next diorama I make, because I think it just looks a little too, I don't know, it looks a little weird, to be honest. But we got this little no trespassing sign hanging out in this bush, because why not? And then there's a little cinder block, and I think the only other thing that I really added to this, I don't know if you can see that, but there's that little muffler from that stupid M2 car. I just dumped back there some junk. But anyway, let's take a look at the actual truck here. I think the truck turned out almost perfect in my opinion. I like the way the truck turned out. I think the window is the only thing that, I don't know, it doesn't look that great in my opinion. Well, actually, maybe not that bad. It's not that bad. Just I think I could maybe have done a little better, I guess. I don't know. I kind of messed up and I kind of broke the wrong way on it, but it still looks pretty good. But anyway, we got the hood here with the little patina paint on there, and then we got the leaves in there. I think the leaves really look nice on this truck. Like the leaf weathering, or whatever, weathering with leaves. Let's just call it that, I guess. But I think I did a pretty good job on this rust here. You can see I really tried to like stain it down from key areas on the truck, such as the bed area, and then I did some lighter rust on the underneath that. I used Quaternary Broke's little paprika thing, but it looked way too red in my opinion. I didn't like how red it was, so I just went over it with the brown again, but it actually gave it a really nice chunky rust look. I don't know if you can really see that on the roof there. I did it on the hood. Any heavy areas of rust, I definitely used the paprika, but I painted over it with brown, so I think that looked a little better in my opinion, because it looked way too red before. I think mostly for rust, this is like a wet rust almost, I think, like a car that's been sitting out in the rain for a while, and it accrues that dark brown rust color. So here's the rear, basically the same thing. I just kind of left the taillights on there, why not? Not everything has to be broken on this car. It already has all the tires flat pretty much. Hold on, let me just rotate this tire. There you go. So basically, there's the side of the truck. You can see the tires down here there's the other side of the truck, I mean. The tires are flat. I just did that using the lighter. You can easily melt the tires, just give them a little heat, and then press down on the table. And also, it works great for making like a little chrome. It gets rid of the chrome. It like chars the chrome. And it makes it look kind of weathered, to be honest. It makes the tire look like it's been sitting out in the weather for a long time. But anyway, here's the other side of the truck. Pretty much the same thing. And we got this side here. There's the little front bumper. I decided to snip that off at the start from the base. Because I was having problems with the base. The rivet was just not wanting to come off. It was just really jagged and it was in a bad spot in the car. So I just decided to clip the bumper off and make it a standalone piece. And I think it looks better this way anyway, as the car, looks more like abandoned or whatever like that. But anyway, here's this side. No, this tire's not on the flat. That's the only problem with the flat tires. You gotta rotate them to make them go to the flat. But this tire, I just made it look like it's just a brake rotor. There's no rim, no tire on it. Somebody took the tire and a rim off, and they just left it on the brake rotor. And that's why this cinder block is in my diorama, just because someone took the tire. Why not? But anyway, here's the back. This is what I was really experimenting with. Is this rear of the truck, sort of. I was experimenting with different weathering techniques, different leaves or whatever, different little spices. The spices were great. Like, I'd rather not spend like $20 on weathering powder when the spices actually are pretty much weathering powder. I used a whole array of them over there to get different effects. I got the fine leaves, the coarse leaves, some dust. I actually put some like pepper on there. You see that like fine dust on the outside of the path? That is white pepper. So you can use spices for basically weathering powder, I guess. So thanks to Quaternary Broke for catching me on to that idea. I kind of branched off. Yo, what's good? I've been reporting to you here from my room because my stupid camera decided to cut off my footage of the last part of the truck, and it just, I don't know, it decided to be stupid and not do what it was supposed to do. So I'm up here in my room to finish off this video, show you what the finished product looks like, and might as well show you this little 50th anniversary thing that I think I did a video on this already by the time this comes out, but yeah, I'm starting to fill it with cars. It can hold a lot of cars. You can see back in there, you can see there's cars heading straight all the way back there. And all my spares are going to take up space on this thing. It's all the cars that didn't really have a home. I didn't really want to put them in a display case. So, yeah, because I'm running out of room in my room. You can see this. I am running out of space here. I'm putting my 2018 Supercharger Hunt set over there. I'm just gonna complete that. I found half of them, over half of them actually. They found 9 out of 16 in the stores. So I'm just gonna buy the ones I don't have off of eBay if I don't find them. So anyway, we got this. Yeah, I don't want to do a full-on collection update, but yeah, I'm running out of space. All my cars are taking up space all over dressers and stuff like that because I am out of space. But that's not why we're here. We're here for this truck. 62 Nissan Junior. You can see there's the finished product. I put it up here on this display. I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like in the diorama case. That's pretty much it. Nothing too special, I guess, about it in the case, but yeah, that's what it looks like in the case. It's just a little display, you know. You can pick it up, transport it around. And the truck itself is not glued to the diorama, so if I want to view the truck as a standalone piece, I can just pick it up off the thing and do whatever I want with it. So yeah, basically that is about it for that. You can see I actually really like this display thing. That's pretty cool in my opinion. Looks pretty sick. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. This darn camera, I don't know what is wrong with it. It just cut me off again. But hope you guys enjoyed this video of me making this truck. And subscribe for more if you want. If you don't, that's fine. I don't care. Get out of my channel. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this truck. I'll see you guys later.